Good morning, 7th grade. It is Wednesday morning and we have one more day before our day of vacation. So I hope you guys had a good night's rest and hopefully you ate something to wake up your brain, or maybe you went out on a walk this morning and you are raring to go. Have your pencil in your hand. You are excited about Wednesday. We have lesson 4 in front of us on page 16, and we are learning how to figure something to the unit price to the nearest cent. In other words, the first thing that they're doing is figuring eggs. How much does it cost per egg for a bag of feed? All of that. That's what they're doing. The example they give us is Rachel has a small egg business of her own. She has a dozen laying hens and she kept track of how many eggs her chickens laid from a 100-pound bag of feed costing $11.80. The hens laid 220 eggs while consuming the bag of feed. Okay, so the first question they give us is, what did the feed cost per pound? All right, so the bag was 100 pounds. And it cost her $11.80. So what you do, you divide into the cost, and you can figure out how much it was per pound. All right, so put your decimal point up. You can go 100 into 118 one time. Subtract. 100 into 180 again goes one time. Subtract again, drop a 0. 100 into 800 goes 8 times. And they round it. They say round it to the nearest cent. So we would need to make this 0.12. Remember, the nearest cent is always the hundredths. 2 places past the decimal point. The next question they ask is, what was the feed cost to produce one egg? Okay, she had 228 eggs and the feed was $11.80. So I'm going to go 3 places there right away because we have to round. We can't go 228 into 118, so we need to put a 0. We can go 228 into 1180, and let's try about 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. And we will subtract, drop your 0. 228 will only go 1 time into 400. Again, let's subtract. We have to borrow. 10 take away 8 is 2. 9 take away 2 is 7. 3 take away 2 is 1. All right, again, they want you to round it to the nearest cent, and that would be 0.05. All right, so let's do one that they give us to do on example 1. And they give us some instructions. Let's look at the instructions. Find the unit price to the nearest, what, Casey? What does that say? To the nearest 1,000. How many places is that, Seth? 1,000. How many places past the decimal point? 3 places. Nearest thousandth of a dollar. And the next blank, we round to the nearest cent. So if you look at what they give us on number 1, you see you have 2 blanks to fill in. The first blank is rounded to the nearest thousandth. The second blank is to the nearest cent. All right? It says actually the first one is done for you. And I am going to look at one of your books. It's kind of confusing in my book because all of mine are done for me. So it doesn't quite make sense. Okay, they do the first one for you. So the zinnias are done. Says Sarah is pricing some flower seeds in a garden catalog. Calculate the price per seed of the various flowers. Zinnias are done. Okay, they bought 50 seeds for $1.49. What you do is you take the amount of seeds into the cost that it cost them. And you see it cost them 3 cents per seed. Let's do the Sweet Williams on number 2. 50 seeds for 89 cents. So we're going to take 50 into 0.89, and we need to round it to the thousandth. So that means we need to go 4 places and then round. All right, 50 won't go into 8, so let's put a 0. 50 will go into 89 one time. We will subtract. 8 take away 5 is 3. Drop your 0 down. 50 goes into 390 7 times. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 5 is 35. We will subtract. 9 take away 5 is 4. Again, drop your 0 down. 5 goes into 40 8 times. All right, remember, round it to the nearest thousandth equals 0.018 is your first blank. Then the second blank, you're supposed to round to the nearest cent, which would be 0.02, or you can write 2 cents. All right, let's do the number 3. This is sunflowers, 20 seeds for $1.95. All right, so we need to go 4 places because we're rounding. The first time we have to round to the nearest thousandth. Put your decimal point up. 20 won't go into 19, so we have to put a 0. 20 into 195. Abigail, how many times would you do? She says 9. All right, let's try that. Subtract. 9 take away 8 is 1. Drop your 0. 20 goes into 150 7 times. Again, subtract. Drop your 0 down. 20 goes into 100 5 times. We need to round to the nearest thousand, so it would be 0.098. Or when we round to the nearest cent, it would be 10 cents. Wish I could ask you guys if you have any questions, something you don't understand. Remember to take whatever they have, the amount of whatever they bought, or we took, see how many seeds they had, we took how many eggs they had into the price. Remember to do that, and the biggest thing is just remember your rounding. 3 places and then 2 places. You have an extra credit on number 8, on page 18, number 12. You have an extra credit there. If you do that, you'll get 1 point extra credit. They have some instructions on number 14A. It says round to the nearest $100, okay? Be careful about that. B says round to the nearest cent. Let me see, something else you might have a question on. I don't think, on page 20, numbers 31 and 32, remember how to do those? Remember, you subtract and you put it over the original number to find the percentage of increase or decrease. We haven't had one. We have not had any of those for a little while. All right, that's all for today. You guys are doing good. I know that some of you are getting more corrections than you normally do, and that's probably frustrating because you can't ask questions. I know that, but just remember, I have my score keys at home. If you don't understand how to do something, something's confusing to you, call me, send me a picture. I'll be happy to walk you through it, help you solve the problem, and we'll get through this one way or the other. See ya. Have a good day.